There's a greasy...
Someone has been squatting here. The linen is fresh, recently washed.
A flat...
You know, officer, you can rest.
You face the concrete wall. There's less light there. You didn't... The blanket, you feel yourself standing up in the darkness, right next... Dolores Day, the innocence of humanism. Okay, but you don't let her go. This is win her back.
Hey, I mean, I'm doing really good, actually. God, Harry, you have to...
This is everything
I'm sorry.
She means... What are you...
I'm going to Morove. Just my set... Oh, this is...
She...
Anyway, no, Harry. We don't have... It's all gone.
Oh God, whatever you do, don't try to kiss her yet. Not after that. You're still reeling. You'll fall over if you try now. With your feet, she is not kissing you back. This was not her chest rising like a pillow. Warm exhalations against the side of your mouth. Her tender soul hidden, distant. Kept feels like the world's most precious material. The delicate wreath, her hand, distrust, nothing. Apricot scent, the moment, trying hard not to look at you. When she withdrew and you held on to her hand, she tried not to look at your face and see the expression there. Brother, you should put me in front of a firing squad. I have no words for how. She breathes out. Heavily, as if she shakes her head one more time.
Why did you do that to yourself? No, Harry. I'm pregnant. Yes, I term now.
More questions. Ask more.
It's not. But I don't know why I said that's it.
Where? Stop. You're only making it worse for him. You never help with... Oh yes, she'll come around now. Are you... She's about to say something. Here it comes. Her innocence, Dolores Day, fiddles with the handle. See? She isn't saying, I don't understand. It was...
We were bad for each other, okay? I was bad for you. It just takes some time. But...
She keeps her shoulders squared.
Yes. It's okay. No, Harry, we already...
Is that not you too?
I don't know. Please, Harry.
She avoids turning them to you. They're turning moist now.
You know what I mean. A little down.
Questions? Did someone say questions?
This is another one, isn't it? We're in a
In descending order.
It's not just the other people get sad. In conclusion, you're ill. You're an old, insane man. And you have to be in hell until... I don't know what you mean. Dolores Day. The morning. I don't Oh my God, I can't do that anymore. Wasn't I haven't even bought the tickets yet. Great. It's the abyss of the void. Soon it will be the gloaming, then it will be...
What?
I am impolite. This is how...
I was wrong. You don't have power over her anymore. You should...
Oh, Harry, you shouldn't have done that. Call me like...
You ruined it. There was...
Oh, Harry, months already.
The air. Black-eyed dogs wander the alleys. That means pain.
Great. Now I'm the symbol of pain.
There's a
Someone has been squatting here.
a flat...
You know, officer.
You face the concrete wall. There's less light there. You didn't... The blanket, you feel yourself standing up in the darkness, right next to the mat. Dolores Day, the innocence of humanism. Okay, but you don't let her go. Win her back. How does that...
Hey, I mean, hey, I'm doing really good. God, Harry, you have to...
This is everything I always...
I'm sorry.
She means... What are you doing?
I'm going to Morova. Just my... Oh, this is...
She...
Anyway. No, we don't. It's all...
Oh God, whatever you do, don't try to kiss her yet. Not after that. You're still reeling. You'll fall over if you try now. With your feet, she is not. This was not her chair hidden. Feels the world's most a delicate wreath. Her distrust, nothing. Apricots, trying hard not to look at you. When she withdrew, and you held on to her hand, she tried not to look at your face and see the expression there. Brother, you should put me in front of a firing squad. I have no word. She breathes out heavily, as if something painful has passed through her, and shakes her head. It does not. It goes on. Children run in the back alleys. Pigeons take flight. She shakes her head.
Why did you do that to yourself? No, I'm pregnant. Of course not. I terminate now.
More questions. Ask more.
It's not. But I don't know. That's it.
Wait, stop. You're only making it. Oh, she's her. See, I don't.
We were back. It just, but.
She keeps her shoulders squared and her back straight.
Yes. Yes. It's okay. No, we already.
Is that not you two?
I don't know. Please. Harry.
She avoids turning them to you. They're turning moist. moist.
You know what I mean. A little.
Questions? Did someone
This is another one, isn't it?
in descending?
It's not other people. In conclusion, you're ill. You're an old, insane. I don't know what you mean. I haven't even bought the tickets yet. Great.
What?
I am in. This is
I was wrong. You don't.
the morning. Oh my, I can't do that anymore. Oh, call me.
You ruined it. There was still a.
Oh, Mum.
The black-eyed dogs wander the alleys. Apple trees hang their bony limbs low. It's Dora. That's what the voice said on the phone. Dubois. Yes. Dora Dubois.
Why what? Oh no. No. We're not doing that again. Yes, Harry.
A tiny golden watch with red straps around her bony little wrists.
It's not
Like
It's about taking care of yourself. Like you're yelling.
you failed. This failed.
I don't want it. That's not.
She looked the figurines. Don't. Yes, a form. Yeah, it was a good idea. But she
No, please. Harry, I didn't. But now, only boring hell remains. We both,
It was her. I can feel it.
as queen.
You need to recite it to.
Please, Harry. Okay, stop. Yes. Then why you. It was a.
The light of the video rental shines through her dress now.
The coolest. The first and worst. Yes, it was just a.
That's sharp.
No, it's all you. I always. And my. Can't you.
A cheap rental with mold on the.
Yes.
Your
Harry, do you notice? Stop laughing like that, please. It's here, Harry. We are there.
Surely the alcohol didn't help either.
Everyone has a little glass of wine every now and 40. No human being should still. Is there really anything left? That is your own.
Stop making her angry. She won't start loving you again if you.
You were very bad to me too. I am at this thing you've made me into. My lungs do not glow, Harry.
She will. Once you have erected the Temple of Light.
An immortal.
And a completely different world.
I have.
I was wrong.
No. That would only be painful and dull. At the light, I have to wipe it all off. That was. Yes. I won't. Oh, Harry. Right. I'm suffocatingly beautiful. And young. And I smell of tutti frutti chewing gum. Like I did that time when I asked you for forgiveness. After leaving you the first time. So long ago. Oh yes. See you tomorrow.
You're up quick. How was your sleep? I did not want to wake you. Perhaps I should have? Was it a job dream?
The lieutenant nodded. I understand. We've all been through similar things. It can be overcome.
Okay.
He's still worried. You must have really thrashed and... bent metal, broken glass. You are the destroyer, the bane of inanimate matter. Kudos. The greasy old.
Yes, anytime.
You don't have to be a hero. Date of birth generator. You were born in the year 07, in the last year of the commune of Revachol, right before it fell, in the old military hospital on the ground floor, where people usually came to die during a snow. The greasy.
Yes.
You don't. Books and magazines, most are soft covers. Serialized popular depictions of man versus nature by amateur naturalists T&T Harpin, husband and wife, among what is mostly commercial fiction and serialized stories. You find
Someone's made themselves a home.
Oh yes, under the bed, there is a rather extensive collection of critical theory, that is, dour, life non-affirming left-wing literature, published by small imprints such as Abattoir Firm and Elysium. It's not exactly light reading.
Elysium. I agree. Humanitarian sciences. It stands out.
Your incendiary remark has failed to provoke. Wasn't there some in the communist students' room?
Well, yes. That one student did.
The little books seem inconsequential next to the big pile of frivolous and...
Again, I am not a philosopher, but whoever has lived here, they have some education.
Interesting. Green paint flecks off the monoblock aluminium cabinet. The keys rattle like teeth. This keyboard hasn't been functioning.
The console of an antique computation device. The generator upstairs, with wires coming. Urgence, ouvert, allumé, radiodiffusé. Sounds like this device was used.
This device was used to control the electronics in the room. It could open doors, control lights, function. Nothing happens. The dial slides under the glass, silently. You make out...
Insular. This is an off-air radio computer, I believe, used for military...
It's an air-gapped system, an off-air military model. Its circuits are nearly impossible to bear.
We need to restore power before using this, officer. We should look around outside. There are bar...
The boat engine.
But officer, then we would have to swim back to the mainland. Let's just look around.
The consul stands by. A strange feeling, looking at the water. Maybe you should just wander off into the... Perhaps there's someone there, under where it has always been, smelling of tutti frutti and, yes, cold and still. Oh fuck, yes. Go there in your head. No, we're not starting with that. Not now. In the rain mirror of the bay, you see Martinez, reflected. Tall islets and posts, like stepping stones. There's a rain-soaked mattress on a concrete slab, only half covered by the crumbling roof. At the head of it,
B triple prime. This looks like a good place to shoot from.
a single-person mattress, modern, civilian use, brand name, and an empty can of beans on the ground next to it, filled to the brim with cigarette butts. The silhouette of a tobacco picker adorns the paper filter, the brand Tio Moteri.
I may have been wrong when I said it wasn't important. This means the same person could have visited both locations. I didn't see any signs of smoking inside, though. If people live there, they keep it tidy. This here may also be...
There's a firing slit in the wall in front of you, like a little window, quite old and grimy from years without cleaning. The springs screech as you lean on the mattress and crane your trepidation. A small piece of Martinez coastline opens up in the square in front of you, like a tiny landscape painting. 1 kilometer across the water, the ruins look familiar. A towering skyscraper, its top floors shaved off by the red chimney and collapsed back of the 4-story tenement in front of the... The box-shaped silhouette of the whirling in rags. You see a small fleck of white on the rooftop, the upstairs window of Clausia's.
What does that mean? Do you have line of sight to the window?
More than that.
A pair of binoculars? Or a scope of a rifle? You'd be prone, lying on a mattress, barrel resting on the...
Cheek against a cheek rest, hand on the hair trigger, on a calm day like this.
Good. I think we have it, Detective. The origin of the shot. This is the sniper's nest.
Affirmative.
In our defense, nothing pointed here. Many leads pointed elsewhere.
He looks north. Oh, he's conflicted for a second. There's guilt there. It takes him a moment.
Where?
He does not answer.
We should move now.
The lieutenant, there's a red, the recoil start wakes the old generator up. The machine sputters.
That should do it.
A dim golden
It's on.
automatic boot.
I think, yes. Let's see. That one.
The blast door opens with a series of clicks. A shaft of light appears, then widens as the light shines in.
After you. So did I. Not back there, but I felt it since we came here. I don't know.
A thin wisp of smoke rises from a
Don't worry. I have a gun.
An old man, wearing tracksuit trousers, leans on the frame stock, then spits it out into the extinguished, unclouded by cataracts. His eyes, he's practically tearing up from spite. Hatred got the best of him a long time ago.
The what now? I can't hear you. I may have. All sorts of little rats have come sniffing.
The position.
fire guy. Regressive bourgeoisie henchman. Can't even talk like a grown-up. My eyesight? Yes, helps me see all the shit. I did. And you opened it. I should have burned that console down. Reactionary rock and roll music.
Told you we shouldn't play sad FM. I did.
We have entered a world where he said you shouldn't. It is the only world.
Sad FM, huh? I always hated that station. Phlegmatic, counter-revolutionary. The fascists were right about rock and roll. It is degenerate. Hip gyrating. It's not nice. It's a piece of shit. But it gets the job done. It's a Triangong for
Southeast Samaran made. Exotic. Must.
A Samaran rifle.
It was sent to us by our brothers in the Sinyao commune.
It has stayed true to him. He can still make it sing.
You heard me. It's good now. Like chalk.
He's right. Almost no one remembers there was a third metastasis of the world revolution in the Safre Empire. Extinguished.
They wouldn't like hearing their name.
The time will come to win his trust, comrade. It is not now. You need to take care of the gun first.
Yes, I bet you've killed a lot of people. Have you come to make me?
His left eye twitches. With what?
We have come to ask you questions. Nothing more. If you do not comply, we will take you in.
Another spitball lands in the ashes. That's all the answer he gives.
No. Put it down now.
Or you're gonna blow my brains out before you question me. It's out of bullets.
He stares on, his wrinkled mouth moving without a sound. A strange sadness, like a song.
The future teaches you to be.
The present.
The present to be afraid and cold. Real music. Real Project Cult.
Marching song. Forget about that for a moment. You need to address that remark first.
The job of a shitlicker. There you go. 1 of 3. In Grad.
In Sinyao, they sang, Boy with a Scythe, Golden Sun.
I fucking know what they sang. I watched those little fuckers die in my arms. You don't fucking tell me what they sang.
His nostrils are still flaring with rage. He brings himself back under his own.
Everyone has. They named a fucking perfume after it. Talk to her. God's shithouse.
There was something there when he said, talked to her. He was curious. All around you, the air slowly circulates the islet, carrying little swallows and black. Keep their distance.
I've seen kids lose their minds and start talking to the city. Cities can't talk. It's bourgeois idealism. I don't want... How did it go? Something about shooting rabbits.
He waves erratically with his hand, annoyed that he can't remember. It was dear to him. So, if I can shoot rabbits, then I can shoot fascists too. Those are the next lines.
What are you talking about?
He doesn't recognize it. His gaze follows your motions. The rifle feels the rifle's in a shabby state, like a crutch that's seen too. They say Triangong 4.46, Sin Yao Commune, for Safre and for all men. This is the Vulgate Seraïs. You can barely intuit the words. No is stretching it.
What does it say?
That's what the little guys told us. Every day at 4 o'clock, those men were commandos. They weren't shit on a stick like us. They were small.
On the butt, you see Vespertine writing, burned into the wood. Triangong 4.46 millimeter.
The right type and the right calibre.
He's liking this.
No one said it has to be a Belmagrave. We were just guessing.
From ballistics, it could...
It doesn't matter if it was made in Shanti. All it has to do is use jacketed ammunition.
The old man keeps following your motion with his gaze. This looked very much like the murder weapon. It could be used against him to get a confession in time.
My name is Josef Lilianovich Dross. Political. I am a deserter, a partisan, and a prisoner of war.
There, behind them, across the delta.
The commune of Revachol? Do you mean the ICM? Your holdover from the...
From the Insular Indian Citizens Militia, the army of the revolution. I was recruited in Jamrock in '07, trained in the... I left my unit on the eve of the landing. When I returned here on May 14th, the commune had fallen.
51 minus 8 equals 43.
No. I've been on other islands. I was in Resurrection until they turned it into a spa in 18. Then I was on E48, a nameless sound, until the sea washed over it. 43 years and 10 months. It's inhuman. It's sick. It's not how a human being should live, but I had to.
He nods. But he can.
What have you been doing,
Hiding, fishing, waiting.
Where the afternoon grows late, on Rue de Saint-Ghislain, people walk home. Street lights will soon be. 2 police officers step out of the Whirling in Rags cafeteria. Satellite officer Jean, patrol officer Judith Minot. The officers go, leaving behind the writing. Still
Always waiting. For her.
Her who?
Girl child. Revolution. Always. The material base for an uprising has eroded. The historic opportunity for our revolution has passed. It will not come back anymore, however hard. I was just 16 years old, 15 when I volunteered. I had a lapse. You could say I misunderstood the historic role of the proletariat and thought Mazovian socioeconomics were fallible. The second is all it for reaction to take hold. Petty bourgeois terror. It's in all men. You haven't seen it.
it remains unclear what it is. He makes leaps he doesn't expect you to follow.
And this was... when?
May the 13th, '08. 44 years ago. The horizon was black with the combined might of international capital. Huddled on the floor, the artillery was 80 kilos.
A terrible shame, still within him. The lobes of his ears are red with it. The shame and smallness of what he...
No. I climbed the chain link across the water and hid inland, in the bunkers there, like the weakest of the airships. I climbed out into hell. The landing was complete. They'd all drowned in the lower levels, or got torn to shreds above. The anti-aircraft gun had malfunctioned. So had I. I left them without ideological direction. The mask of humanity fall from capital. It has to take it off to kill everyone, everything you love. And then you see it, as it strangles and beats your friends to death. The sweetest, most courageous people in the world. That the bourgeois are not human.
Now is not the time, Lieutenant Yefreto.
I had to. I had to fight it. I could not stop.
These eyes are charred black by the images that have entered them.
It's not an island, Dwight. It's a defensive fortification of the commune of Revachol. The congenitally deformed King Philip II built it to restrict access to the Bay of Revachol. We captured it in '02, retrofitted. The coalition military called it Operation Deathblow. A Deathblow? You're one of them? Tell me, who speaks like that? We had 50 million people on Caillou alone. Sure you are. You're RCM. Answer me. Who calls an operation against 50 million people Deathblow? Iblis. The black-eyed angel.
Shaitan Order, the darkened one.
How does anyone survive? I steal.
Now hold on there.
You're insane and grotesque. Everyone steals.
How is your health?
I've been throwing up blood since winter. Red.
He does seem frail. Gaunt for his age. More like 75 than 65. Trouble putting on weight could mean cancer.
The RCM can provide medical services.
I need to die. You don't have medical facilities. You have guns. That's all they give you. Toy guns. I have been running out of that stuff. There's nothing to look over. The triage is in, and it's black. I haven't. I have holes in my brain. Years missing. Others filled with pain. I don't even know what. Inferno? No wonder. All your minds are rotting from the radio waves. I watched the traitors of this city turn the... It's disgusting.
Are they not heartbroken? How could they have moved on?
It was hard in the Thames. I didn't have partisan training. They were searching for stragglers, those...
There were posters.
We communards still hoped, and they needed to snuff that hope out. The East capitulated. Martinez and Cold City were turned to dust. And others too. Some cordons of Revachol was still fighting. There were cells. I tried to contact them. At night, I used a dinghy. I only went after dark then. When I got to the city, I stayed underground. Patrols.
In the city, you move underground?
From bunker to bunker. Not anymore. No one cares now. I don't even have to hide. They think I'm another antisocial vagrant. I could walk straight into that town if I wanted. I don't want to. They're all traitors. Pigs, rats.
He does not want to see life moving on. People forgetting, drinking, laughing.
So you finally found it. There must have been a small squadron's worth of arms in there. Elmer Graves. I know.
So you've been there?
Sleeping. Some nights. Ammo scrounging on others.
You feel the dots connecting. Little dots on the map he's walked across.
The propaganda bunker.
Propaganda bunker.
They stored leaflets there. Broadcasting equipment too. Made broadcasting think. Propaganda officers. I buried a lot of our boys did. I spent some winters there. Never liked it. Kept thinking of them. No need to go underground anymore. I do. They're good. Plenty of tar. I like that boy on the pack, too.
The old man looks across the water at the city.
You're with the RCM, the coalition-appointed mob that enforces bourgeois morals in Revachol. You're the RCM. You represent the Moralist International. The enemies of humanity. Take me to them as a prisoner of war. I have relinquished my weapon. I can no longer serve. No superiors can relieve me of my duty.
A spray of blood from his mouth. Rene, the royalist on the coast, said.
Liberal reactionaries signed that instrument. Traitors who should have been burned alive.
Is that part of why you've been here all this time? Because the part...
He just wipes the blood from his chin.
I don't think you did. You live in a delusion. Radio shows, speed rate. No, I am not a soldier. I am an ideological officer. I trained in historical materialism, then assigned as a political commissar by the party.
The old man does not answer. He tilts.
His job was to assure the army answers to civilian control and follows the ideology of the Commune.
Scientific communism. A commissaire politique is a night philosopher of the revolution.
Awakened from shutdown by the promise of ideology. He nods slowly, then another tremor.
You're a lumpen with a gun.
Detective, we have not come here to discuss ideology. We have come to ask questions.
The old man spits into the fire pit. There's definitely something off with his body. Something more than just metabolism, or even cancer.
There's nothing serious in this world. It's a farce. I've used it for killing.
Killing people?
It's a gun. That's what they're for. I've used it.
Interesting. During or after the...
There is no after the war.
So he's continued killing after. This is it. You can feel it, like battery acid on the tip of your tongue. Something you... This is what you live for. The great serotonin, Jack. The solution. Going straight. No euphemisms. No. Be careful now. Slow and steady though. Don't mess this up. Remember, he wants to tell you. Get personal.
What did I just say?
What did I just tell you? Don't drop the ball now. Nothing comes to you. Silence is, and in them, a chill, like electricity running.
All is not as it seems.
Detective.
The who now?
He heard you. He just wants to hear you say it again. This is dramatic flair on his part. Right choice. We're in. Do it, sire.
Oh, yes. That one.
Did you kill him?
I am a son of a welder and an officer of the commune of Revachol.
A drop of blood in the saliva. Exhaust him with proof. The gun. The scent of blood in the air. But what else? Something about the tracks. Suddenly, all those tracks are so confusing. Go with something else first.
You lost, Dwight. You lost.
A drop of... That's right. Pile it all on him.
I saw you poking around there, looking for evidence. You damn dilly.
You had direct visibility. There are embrasures in the concrete. You've been here a long time, Mr. Dross. Too long. You clearly need medical aid.
I'm ready to die.
He's practically admitting to it. Dead fascists for fascists. Done. Just one thing remains unclear. The rifle does not seem to have a scope.
Forget about your stupid fucking scope.
He lost it. He just doesn't know where it is. Forget it. Push on.
Because it's a sniper's nest, you stupid fuck. Radio Gosh is right. You have worms in your brain.
Almost. He almost burst out there. Keep piling arguments. Anything.
Not a lot of guns around that use military grade.
It's a real gun. Not like your little musketeer pistol. I've seen you prance around with that. You look like imbeciles. Why don't you ask them to give you real weapons? Going against automatic...
Damn, he saw you. He's watched it happen. He would have a good view of the tribunal from here. So he saw you. Okay. So what? Don't let it divert you.
You know what? You're right. I'm convinced this made the shot. Should we call it? .46 jacketed ammunition. What it good? This feels good, doesn't it? Tying things up like this.
Murder.
Like a marionette on some invisible string. This pushed him, but not enough. Just a little more. Wait, here it comes. The goddamn Maybells. The dried Maybells on Clausia's roof. There were Maybells in the grass when you got here. They're nowhere else. Nowhere in all of... Wait, don't forget the footprints. The diagonal prints in the dust in the secret space behind Clausia's bedroom. Now, they're gonna come up. You got it. Remember? The boot prints were like no... Maybe don't beat yourself anymore, though. You're not immortal.
Everything is brands with you individualists. Who cares what brand my shoes are?
Show me the soles, please, Mr.
Fucking imbecile.
The maker is Sensorique. These are not the unusual horizontal patterned souls you saw in the dust on the floor of...
The size fits, but not the soul.
Sire, he doesn't have to be wearing them right now.
Racking those brains, are you? Desperate to report something back to your masters? They must have really loved that.
The lieutenant gives you a quick sideways. The prints were his. You can see it in those eyes. The old man stares at his own prints in the ash around the fire. Silent suddenly. You've almost got him. Just the last little push.
Damn Maybells. The whole island is turning...
He seems tender suddenly. Nostalgic even.
So many this year, too. The spring is coming. No, it's already here. Wash the filth away. Class.
He knows her, but hadn't heard the name.
My ears don't reach with the victim.
There is a small tremble. Looks like a smile. A crooked...
You know who he was. A coalition-trained murderer. Armored and armed. He wasn't human. The blunt end of a hammer. Dripping with blood. Beating us to the ground. Moaning with joy. You hounds get so thorough when a company-trained killer dies. I haven't seen you on this coast for 40 years. Got your attention. Now you stop beating druggies and prostitutes in your basement. Now you come to invest.
This is it. Shot him. Shot him. Say shot him, not killed him.
Oh, the inhumanity. One paramilitary less in Revachol.
The lieutenant raises. Hush. He does not need to be pushed in. While the lieutenant listens, holding his breath.
I had them in my sights. Both of them. Him and the whore. I was breathing with them. In phase. And I pulled... I didn't think I had a shot like that in me anymore. I did. I saw him kneel there with his mouth full of death. And that... nothing. I went to sleep. Next morning there were Maybells everywhere. The world was white. And...
Mr. Dross, are you aware you're confessing to murder?
Yes.
And you were looking at them, the victim and a young woman, having sex, through the scope of your rifle that night, before you
The old man.
Why?
Because that's what they were doing.
The motive. This is where the motive... You can coax it out of him.
I don't understand. Do you, detective? I don't understand this part.
I'm always looking.
Are you always looking through the scope of a rifle? I'm just trying.
A rifle scope has the best.
And if you don't like it?
Click.
Yes. Think of it as a form of...
He will not stop now. These dialectical materialist types never do. You got him going. Connect every little piece now. Wrap this up like a gift.
Them. Fucking. I didn't like that. Jealousy is a reactionary concept. I didn't like the Reaver enjoying him.
For him to stop reacting to stimuli. To be broken off from the world.
And I wanted to see his head explode. That too. She should know better than to hold a child murderer. That's all it takes for the bullet to reach his head. Now that I think of it, I wasn't aiming for his mouth. I wanted his brains to spill out on her.
This man has seen past her, like you did. And now he longs to see her covered in blood. To punish her.
She practically breastfed that man. You wouldn't believe the things she let him do to her.
You stare at them too. In your mind, her innocence day still turns to leaf, airport bag in hand. See you tomorrow, Harry. Her voice rings in the evening air, burning.
You're delusional. There's nothing to see in the soul of the bourgeois woman. It's the same as the surface. Sick hedonism and made a little love nest up there. Sweaty linen and bottles they would use for God knows what. I saw other men there too, but I can't be sure. Even
A red-haired woman?
that kind of thing is fine by the party. So it's fine by me. But it goes
Seems like the answer was yes.
since she came to Martinez. I saw her sneaking in the reeds early in the morning, behind the Fell building. It was dark, still winter,
Past the Fell building on the coast?
hiding something in the water. She had a fag after she'd done it. I was up in the ruins there. She couldn't see me, but I could see her. Her passport and tickets to Villiers.
In the free state of Seminine, hidden away at the edge of the...
After she was gone.
Did you keep what was in it? When we found the
No. Why would I do that? I didn't need...
This implies that he's thought about extorting her. Also, a little inconsistency here. He was surprised to hear her name Clausia before. Would he not have seen it on the documents?
It didn't say Clausia in there. It was something. I don't remember. It was dark that morning. I only Why would I need that trash?
A strange confusion comes over him from time to time. Some kind of aberration of the nervous system.
I did. She had a face like an archipelago. I could see who she was, too. A spook. On the run. Revachol's the cloaca of capital now. All the bagmen and all.
You could tell she was a spook? From the...
She had different color hair on the photo. And glasses. Forged.
He's setting it up for you. The bruises. You can't make that out in a scope.
You can't see bruises through a scope. It's just a blur.
It quickly comes to you.
Oh, yes. Cutting those drugs of hers into
Did you make that hole?
with a clip point knife.
Good for listening in, too. For hearing the moaning and the snorts.
Like that, too? Yes. Bending like a bow against the glass. I've been through all of Martinez. Yes, that, too. The things they did in that little room. What she... You turn it on inside, and it gets so dark out, you can't see a man looking in. I learned that in the 20s, when they were still hunting me. I've seen people do something.
Those two took... You hear the familiar scribble of the lieutenant's pen. One more loose end down.
How did you get in there? The hidden pinball workshop.
I can just walk in there now after a good wash. I told you, they think I'm an antisocial. Closing hours ago.
You had to open the steel door in the kitchen?
I got that open a long time ago. Some bourgeois game merchant lived there. I don't know, 15 years ago. He left spare keys all over, and I took one.
Andy found use for it. A spare key, like the one hanging behind the Union box window.
There's...
The coals of his eyes glisten suddenly, like...
Man needs to feel something else. In this fight, it helps if you have your eye on something there. It's weakness, I know. Yes, over the years. No. I don't really know. I was there one night and she was crying, like a child, the day after I killed him. Yes, I don't know why I do the...
It's as if something put the thought there to leave the flowers.
Maybe. I told you, I have holes in my brain now. If you came 10 years ago, I would have killed you.
In the silence, the lieutenant, one more down.
Her.
The lieutenant nods at you. That's it.
Where is she, that Clasier? I haven't seen her there for...
Safe and sound, sire. Surely you have not misplaced the witness.
Locked up with your masters, like I'll be. Maybe we'll meet. She kept staring into the scope, you know. In the end, like staring at the island, the fort, like she knew I was here.
Midtown, across the Bay of Revachol, the oceanic wind. What on the platform, a young woman is withdrawing from amphetamines, barbiturates, and alcohol. Yet still smaller, distant, hidden, not like the great. There, on a dilapidated jetty, in a nameless village, 2 police officers and 1 special consultant. He's there, doing what exactly, I don't know. Special consultant Heidelstam is optimistic. We'll see the boat when he comes. Let's go get a coffee until then. As the men go, Patrol Officer Minnow, good luck, Harry, she thinks. You need something good.
We could get more. We've got him talking.
Who knows what he's seen and done? You could get more out of him. He likes talking.
A tragic comedy. Druggies.
A strange little engine seems to fire up in him again. The familiar put, put, put of hatred.
Specifically, the whole city is a charnel house. Stripped because of the racists. Everyone is a racist in Martinez. It's their favorite thing to do in the pump full of steroids and Radio Revachol 92. Race this. Yes, the fly larva in his container. He let some nihilistic advertising yuppies erect a statue of Philippe III, a syphilitic murderer, on the town square. Just not since the serfs of ancient Pericarnassus has history produced a more inert social class. Intense, like animals, like those boom-boom morons. The worst of them is the blood-drenched Sucrion on her yacht, licking her lips. The old whore's gone now, a gun-tote. The worst is that old cock parading around in his uniform, throwing balls all day. It's not enough that the race... Every morning he's there, while the parasites he fought to protect are off in Ozon, or Coyamoran, or some other island they built their palaces on. Feeding... That's all the rich really want. Sex with their own children. Throughout history, even the royal bloodline of the suzerain, it's all just an excuse for them to have sordid sex. We did good when we pushed him under that horse car. If only in the 30s.
The disco whores are too much. Hatred shuts down his brain's language center, leaving only... And there was something about a statue and nihilistic advertising agency people. Ask about that cock on parade too. Make sure you get everything.
Horse. Syphilis is a disease Philippe III contracted in a whorehouse. The statue is an abomination. The bacteria entered his brain and made him squander trillions on sparkling wine, cocainum, and monument.
That is technically possible. Although Philippe III was not
And he still went on to govern Revachol for 25 years. We lost 2 million lives toppling that mode of government. And what a keen remark. Yes, it is, isn't it? It's still there. Do you know why? That's right. Some advertising cockroaches erected a cynical deconstruction of it. Art is a bourgeois establishment. It's an affront to humanity. Every gallery should be...
Wait. It suddenly strikes you. Perhaps it was not as it seemed.
What are you talking about? What is this madness?
The lieutenant, too, has cocked his head and is looking at you with a strange expression.
So you're saying it's...
Not only.
We did always have the prettiest posters. Maybe you're right. That is how dialectics work. But understand that... and they all should still be sent to Yekokata.
Straight to the open pit mine.
Yes. Well...
The smallest doubt takes root in him. Perhaps this cop is... No, it can't be. This has helped your standing in the...
The fat union man let them put it there. Corrupt as he is. Probably got a fat check for...
Accusations of corruption. Push them aside with a sharp change of topic, officer. Put the heat on him.
Another hideous disappointment. Unions are the real enemy. The
Disappointment. So personal. He displays a familiarity with the Union's top graft.
That deformed toad? I wouldn't expect him to wipe his own...
Edgar.
He talks a big game about uprising and social base. They must have sent the smart one to some university, first against the wall with him.
The Clares wouldn't miss a man hidden in their own backyard. Not all this time. Nothing happens in Martinez without...
Of course. Maybe the Clears asked him to. Don't go straight for the kill. Exhaust everything else first. Soften him up.
I haven't approached anyone. I hid.
How did he know you were here?
He didn't just stumble in like an oaf. He figured it out. Some kids told him about a monster on the... Stepped right off the boat and walked down where you came. I even kept the door open for him. I was right about one of those things. 20 years ago. Neither of them could walk now, could they? They were less fat then.
That's around the time the Clears came to power.
Edgar did the talking. Paid his respects like I were a fossil in a uniform. Offered platitudes about the struggle. Flaunted it. Never trust a social democrat who quotes Marzoff. Oh, and charity too. They love their charity. Offered me blankets and social housing. I still have the gas cooker he brought. Let me be here. The ZOC is an unlawful successor of the Commune of Revachol.
They let him be here. Understanding was a courtesy. But why such a courtesy?
You know why I killed that fucker, Dwat.
Again? What have you done?
Tried teaching him some Marzovian socioeconomics. They didn't stick.
Okay, he didn't do the hanged man for them. But he's insinuating there is more here. You can feel it. He was not outright lying, but almost. The connection comes to you like a splash of cold water. dark, cold. He acknowledges it. Here we go. But
That bourgeois cow, Tiffin Holly was her name, licked the rich man's hand every time he came to town. Never seen her lick. And money. She liked that too. That Holly was a real bridge builder and a deal maker. She was, and she was real soft on those money men. Had a Barbara Muscova bag over her. Called in, they say, on the eve of battle. Ran away.
no, that's not.
Did she? They say her daughter called in, not her personally. But that wasn't really her daughter.
No, I guess it was not. She couldn't make the call
Here it is.
because she was dead.
Just say nothing.
The cow caught a bullet in her right lung, fell into the canal grasping her tit and drowned. Or bled. Hard to say. She was going home, waddling, dressed in yellow, drunk like she often was. The ruins were black around her, and she had a yellow heading home to Grand Couronne or Betancourt, someplace like that, where they build those new bateaux.
Be abstract here. A bit of drama.
It was someone shot her. Or maybe she just fell. I get these violent ideations. My memory is filled with holes. It's nothing changed. Not in the material base.
Edgar didn't keep his part of the deal. If you were to testify to this, give the RCM something on Edgar, you could walk. We would strike everything you've done and process you as a POW. You were in a war. You were on assignment. We could even extradite you to the Samaran People's Republic.
A degenerate worker state. Go shit. No, thank you. I'm Revacholian. My days are short. I will rot away here, in a moral I saw it happen, and I liked it. That's all I have to say. I didn't live and fight for 40 years to end up as a collaborationist. Everyone is a blobber in this world. Everyone betrays everyone. They're all already locked up for betrayal.
The same old freak. There is plenty here to work with once he's in custody. And the lieutenant knows it. He gives you a little nod to proceed.
Every fucking morning for 34 years. Throwing that ball. One ball against the other. Royalist ghouls played like it was life itself. Click, clack across the water each day. And that uniform, like a parrot's plumage. I won't even mention that he's a traitor to his race. A petanque maniac. I remember him. I remember him from La Noce. Not him personally, his make and model. There were tens of thousands of them. That one.
There doesn't seem to be a single person under the pine today. Not even get
Fat and plump. Like a pheasant. Just begging to be popped off. Please, Mr. Truss. Not yet. I like to look at him strut around. Place the crosshair on his medals. Right on his face.
Save the treat for later.
He is a juicy bonbon, that one. A real treat for the black day. The blackest. When I put that gun in my own mouth, I think, no, don't waste it. Better. I even hid one bullet, so I'd always have one for him. Haven't seen him around lately, strutting around. Must be down with arthritis.
hearing it may destabilize him. You sure you've gotten everything from him?
Huh. Yes, of course. I hope it hurts like hell. I hope he sweats blood.
He seems relieved. Could he have been worried for him? He reminds him of himself. The same hatred. The same. You try to think of another thing, but
Glad? It's all gone.
his lip curls.
Glad? It's all gone.
What strikes you about this gaunt man is not the stomach pain, or the cough, or the malnutrition. For a man, indeed, he speaks fluidly. His movements are rapid, if erratic. His voice, despite the cough, is there. It's a mystery. This animation comes at a cost too. Erratic hand gestures, thought processes cut off like great leaps of emotion. From anger to grief, despair. You've seen demented people before. This feels similar, yet different. When his thoughts move, they are lucid, keen even. Not senile, perhaps, but his seems more than that. The inner turmoil takes unexpected turns. In summary, you sense some underlying neurological.
No, I'm not okay. I shit blood, and I'm surrounded.
There it is again. Erratic hand motions, bouts of rage, and the stomach thing too, of course. His lip curled.
Yes.
Oh my God. He's even worried for him.
No, I waited too long.
I'm sorry, Mr. Dross. I understand you knew him.
They're all dead now.
If he really wanted to kill him so bad, he would have done. There must have been 1,000 black days on these islands. His health ailing.
All human beings care about each other. I cared for seeing his head explode.
He reminded him of himself. The same hatred. The same.
And I blew them all. What does it matter now? He's got. You think I haven't seen people die? It's all I.
He's not okay. This is just another black day in a row of black day. An idea told to him by grown-ups from radio towers and leaflets. And then he lost it. So
Glad we talked about what? What? But you said I would be taken to the...
this terror is the sum of all the uncontrollable movements and moods. The wind picks up. The silence on the water is
Your wayfarer rights have been suspended. Information provided to the officers on the scene will be used against you by the prosecution. You will be given legal counsel within 1 week and must face court in 44 days. Do you understand? Do you
But... No, I don't want to. I have to stay here.
He is a brave man. Why is he unraveling? He's sweating. Beads off.
Your confirmation is not required, sir. Now on to the boat.
There it is again. To your north, as it has been since you came to the coast. Something completely different. It sounds like a bow. Very slowly being...
Maybe there is room for 3 on the boat. What?
What are you talking about? Is this...
Your skin crawls. A delicate tangle of arms and legs unfolds from the reeds.
What are you talking about? There's nothing there.
The stick insect is over 3 meters tall. It looks straight at you. Feel your legs shaking under you, and your gun hands rise instinctively.
Tell me what you see, damn it. I can't make out one small thing in the reeds.
I can see.
4 simple words. Thank God. But that means it's really there, spinning slowly.
Be very, very careful.
creature stands on long stilt-like, reed-like tufts stick out of its joints. The hiss is different from the strings you heard before. It says something else in a lower pitch.
It is.
You glance over your shoulder. The lieutenant. No. The flash will scare the creature off. Warn him now.
We need a photo. No one will believe us.
From the corner of your eye, you see a sudden cascade of motion ripple through the phasmid's limbs.
I won't be one of those fools who didn't...
He's letting his pride get... You see the phasmid turn to him. Its mandible antennae.
Understood. Of course.
The spindly mechanism turns itself back to you. Its antennae. The creature tilts its tiny head to the side and appears to look at you. It is... There is a sadness in there. Or is it in you? From the dream.
We can't just leave it standing there.
You've never seen him get this excited. His voice is...
We can't...
You've never seen him get... Creature read like the hiss is different from the strings you heard before. It says something else.
We can't...
You've never seen him get this excited. His voice is almost trembling. You barely get to take one step. The invertebrate reacts with it's blending into the tufts of reeds.
Where? Where did it go?
You never had a chance. There was something off the moment you approached it. It was scared of you, of humans.
I don't think it had anything to do with...
There is uncertainty in his phrasing.
Okay, but I'm not an entomologist, okay? We saw it. It was real.
Read like the hiss is different from the strings you heard before. It says something else in a lower pitch. Read like the hiss is different from the strings you heard before. It says something else in a lower pitch. Read like the hiss is different from the strings you heard before. It says something else in a lower pitch. Read like the hiss is different from the strings you heard before. It says something else in a lower pitch. You read like the hiss is different from the strings you heard before. It says something else in a lower pitch. You big. Read like the hiss is different from the strings you heard before. It says something else in a lower pitch. You barely get to take one step. The invertebrate reacts with uncanny speed, skating away across the water. It's gone, like a skipping stone, leaving nothing but rings on the sea's calm mirror. It's blending into the tufts of reeds. The creature read like the hiss is different.
It is.
You glance
We need a foot.
from the corner of your eye with the sound of metal sliding against. You see the phasmid turn to him. Its mandible and something cracks in the lieutenant. He's let it.
The ampoule will produce a loud hiss. You're right. It could scare it away. I need a better moment when it's not looking.
I'll wait. I'm on standby, he thinks. The spindly mechanism turns itself back to you, its antennae taking their measure. The creature, there is a sad. Nothing changes. Its insect mind is impenetrable to your reasoning. A sudden chirrup fills the. It moves just an inch closer to you. Something in its body language has changed, just slightly.
We can't.
You've never seen him get this excited. His voice is almost trembling. You barely get to take one step. The invertebrate reacts with uncanny speed, skating away across the water. It's gone, like a. It's blending into the tufts of.
Where? Where did it go?
You never had a chance. There was something off the moment you approached it.
I don't think.
There is uncertainty in his phrase.
Okay, but we saw it.
Your voice echoes on the water.
I don't think it had anything to do with the osprey.
There is uncertainty in his phrasing.
Okay, but we saw it. It was real.
He shakes his head in silence, an expression on his face.
No.
However hard you squint, you can't make out anything recognizable.
I tried, but it was moving too fast, and I didn't get the ampoule in right. And damn it, I believe my eyes. It was there. It appears the insect can walk on water, like a water strider, you know? It's almost as fast. Looks like it doesn't like to stay out in the open for long.
What now?
In some kind of strange,
Our suspect's not looking so good. We should check him over. Also, it looks like it has some kind of nest there. Maybe there's proof in there.
In the reeds, where the phasmid was hiding, you see a little flash of white. Brother, you've managed to collect all the armor pieces. Too bad it's too late for the big showdown. It would have looked very impressive. Still, you found it all. Now your mortal coil is completely protected. This passport, issued by the sovereign.
Classia's hidden documents from the empty boy.
It's Clausia, with short black hair and glasses. An old photo, before life came and did what it...
Maybe our man, Mr. Dross, took it from Classia's, or whatever her name was. Hiding place, or... Like a magpie? What a coincidence. I can see how the helmet could wash up on the island. And the scope. Maybe Mr. Dross lost it.
Would it? Maybe it was... A curious octopus would do something similar. Or even a cuttlefish.
An octopus belongs to a very different class. It's not even an insect, it's a mollusk. But yes, she said it would be for Anouk Meyer-Smith. Anouk Meyer...
Katarzyna Alazia was supposed to be her real... I told you she kept lying to you. She's probably lying to someone else right now. In another city.
Yes, somehow she managed to lie to us. One more time. In a way, she's I don't know. But it's not Katarzyna Alasia, or Clasia, or Anouk Meyers. Perhaps it's better that we didn't arrest.
What is it? What do you want?
Something is very wrong with him now.
See.
Mr. Dross?
The man does not respond. He keeps staring, black eyes glazed over with fear and longing. A light shiver passes him, followed.
He's going into some kind of psychomotor immobility. The good news is,
The trembling mouth appears.
between this and the broken tire he's used for a boat, I think it's safe to leave him here, while we go and get help. It will need to be medical first, I'm afraid. Old age and shock. Yes, the arrest and the appearance of the phasmid, the combined stress. But you...
Quite a few things about that health check you did on him make sense now.
He was energetic and articulate. After all these years alone, with little hygiene or medication, it does not seem to be animated now it's left. Honestly, I'm ready to believe anything at this point. Maybe, I mean, why not? It's 3 meters tall. That could be part of the shock. But you're right, something is off here.
No response.
Then how did we see it? Oh, you mean, whatever does this, does it over time? Teenagers, kids, drunks, sightings are brief, and hence not credible. But anyone who spends a long time with it. Mr. Dross, have you ever seen a... The doctors will have to look at this. I hope your station has better medical personnel than 57. This is a little advanced for a nurse. He did seem distressed when it finally came to arresting him. Like he didn't want to leave this place. And I have absolutely forgotten to take notes. I hope I remember all of this. This will be one...
You will have to be very convincing and very sober to make them believe, sir. He stares into the reeds. Your words don't stir anything. Nothing. Just dull stare.
If Kuno kicked it into the sea, as he said he did, the ebb would put it back here. This makes sense. Mr. Dross could have picked it up. Or...
No reaction. His breathing.
Did you take this passport and other papers from...
The spirit.
He hears us.
No reply.
Try something else?
I lost.
He turns his eyes to the reeds again.
He lost the scope. Then it somehow made its way over there. With the help of a magpie phasmid. This site is a T9, Mr. Dross. Was it attached to the rifle?
Silence. You've gotten all you will out of... The plastic cape flaps around his face. The blacks of his eyes are receding. The strength has all gone out of him. Just frail old bones in a sack of...
We should think about getting back to the mainland. To get help. He'll be safe here.
This passport.
Classius hid...
It's club old.
Maybe our man, Mr. Dross, took it from class like a man. I can see...
Would it? A curious octopus would do.
An octopus She said...
Kata, I told you she...
Yes, somehow she managed to lie to us. One more time. In a way, she's still... I don't know. Perhaps it's better.
What is it? See?
Mr.
The man with fear.
He's going into...
The trembling.
Between this and the broken tire he's used for a boat, I think it's old age and shock. Yes.
quite a few things about that.
He was energetic. He doesn't. I mean, what? That could be.
No response.
Then how did we see it? The doctors will have to look at. He did seem. I have
You will have to be very convincing. He stares into the nothing.
If Kuno kicked it.
No.
Did you take
There.
He hears it.
No.
Try something else?
He turned
He lost. This side is.
side. You've got the plastic, the black, the strength.
We should think about getting back.
The skiff is swaying.
Let's. We are done here.
The skiff rocks gently under your weight as you, but for the sound of conversation on the water. Two men and a woman stand on the concrete square of a nameless village. Looking at a small, you reach the jetty and climb out of the skiff.
Look what the tide brought in. Harry, you're bleeding all over the place.
Whatever this is, it is completely unimportant. This is the man with sunglasses from the whirling in rags. But where are his sunglasses?
That's right. And you're bleeding. Bothered by it? Harry, you look like you... Fuck it. Let's not get into that. We're not forgetting about anything. Look at you.
Hello, I'm Trent Heidelstein. I believe we've met on several occasions.
I'm your goddamn partner, Jean-Vic Comar. And this is your special task force. Or what's left of it. Special Consultant Trent Heidelstein, Patrol Officer Judith Minot.
Hi.
We've come to scrape what's left of you off the pavement.
Lieutenant Kim Kisuragi, Prison 57. We've just come from the island. We are in...
The scene is making even him feel
We might need your help with something later.
as if he recalled that he's in fact a decorated.
But this is clearly a departmental matter, so I'm going to leave you to discuss it among yourselves.
It's good to meet you, Lieutenant Kitsuhagi.
Letting the lieutenant know he shouldn't feel embarrassed over the shitstorm that's about to befall you.
Ari, we want to help you. Trent, I believe this is...
I don't quite know what I'm doing here. I was asked to participate as an expert. I think I need to manage your expectations a little. I'm at best in... My background is in something else entirely. I engage in neurology on a merely theoretical level. In fact, I should probably get...
No, Trent. It's too late. You're part of this shit now. What have you got to say?
What does he have to say for himself? He left you to cap shit, kid. What an interesting moniker.
You. Shit kid.
Despite all that you've done, the deserter, The phasmid, the case.
No, because of all that you've done. The cafeteria manager you fucked over told us where you went. Strange. He didn't mention that. In fact, the establishment didn't look safe at all. There was a giant aerograffito in front of the building. It was on fire. I knew it. Didn't I tell you, Trant?
The line is from Lou Giaton's Mirova 82, isn't it? About girl-child communism, the titular returning character, the ghostly apparition of...
He is correct. It was the Seraïs poet,
Don't encourage him, Trant.
Okay.
Guilty as charged. I heard you lost your mind and your memory. And it was. Good work, Harry. You're insane now. There's one...
He was too sarcastic for you to realize who he was.
I'm clinically depressed, Harry. Sorry if I wasn't in the mood to butter you up after you told us to fuck off. Did you? Or did you literally not recognize my face? We've been partners for how long, Harry? Don't answer that.
Absolutely no idea. Judging by the familiarity you feel toward him, 2 years minimum? Or maybe he's right. Don't start guessing. Now's not a good time.
Lieutenant, my name is not Rose-Faced Woman. It's Judith Minot. I was assigned to your unit 2 months ago. I thought we were friends. Okay. Because you're my commanding officer, I really want...
That will never happen, Jude. He's the rudest man on Earth. He's the reason why the rest of us have to take sensitivity training. And I hate sensitivity training.
Yes, I'm Trant Heilerstam. I never said I wasn't Trant Heilerstam. Mikael? Mikael's my son. No, I was just interested in the Feld building and the Martinez beachhead. And Mikael...
Him being there with his son, it was not a coincidence. It's difficult to see, but he was worried about you. And also interested in the Feld.
What indeed? I was asked to share my take on some of the more obscure theories developed in Königstein in the 30s. Like partial psychotraumatic amnesia, group personality theory.
He's here to see if you're insane. He's smart. Let's move on. Duped? Hey, here's a brilliant idea. Don't be a morbid drunk, and you won't be duped so easily.
Yes, I'm still Kim Kisuragi.
Still caught up in this crossfire, too.
Yeah, Major Crimes Unit, under Lieutenant Dubois and Vicomar. Ring any bells? Refresh your memory? It's a goddamn Major Crimes Unit. There's you, me, Jude, Trant fucking Heidel's.
I'm technically just a civilian advisor.
Fuck you. You're part of this shit show. Oh, that's an interesting story, actually. Guillaume Bevy is a police reporter who joined our team. He was really good. Then he left, because he lost. Other people have left too. Good, smart people. People we won't get back. Only me and this really patient patrol officer are still...
Is this Guillaume Bevy blonde and partial to sunglasses?
See? There! He's getting it. I was impersonating him. Look at me, I'm G-Baby. It was going to be funny. But
He sincerely thought it was going to be amusing. For both.
do? It's a Major Crimes Unit. We clear the desk of cases so Precinct 41 doesn't...
The 41st isn't...
God damn it, Harry. You told us to fuck off. You said we are cramping your style. You're detective god. Fuck everything. All will burn. Detect or die. Oh, you think it was cool? You saying that? Aesthetic somehow? You were crying when we got here. None of us wanted to see the abyss, so we fucked off. Like you told us to. The bells aren't ringing because you have brain damage. Trant, this is where you...
Well, he doesn't have visible tremors, he talks without slurring, he can drive a boat, he's standing, reasoning. All good signs, but complete retrograde amnesia.
Meaning, you forgot both who you are and the definitions of money, Isola, Pell.
As displayed in the station call, our interactions with him, and I don't want to be a snitch, but also mine with him before when Harry did not seem to know who I was.
Interesting?
Yes, interesting. I have my theories, but I would like to hear Harry's thoughts first. Harry, what do you think happened to you? Neurologically, psychologically, and why not socioeconomically? Not when you phrase it like that. But I don't think critical theory. I know everyone thinks this is far-fetched.
What? He lost his...
No, not like that. I'm not talking for Hedefort's school here. But Harry, I asked you, what do you think happened?
Corresponding to the 20-centimeter hole in your brain? Sure. This theory has great symmetry.
Precisely, Satellite Officer Vicmere. It's Martinez.
This sounds odd, but I was there. The church on the coast was shaking from an audio-spatial anomaly. Either way, it was real. I've even put it in my report. You should read it. I do not, however, think it has anything to do with him drinking himself to...
Thank you, Lieutenant Kitsuragi. Just to clarify, I do not think Isolary and troponetics are a hoax. Pain produces global phenomena. What has not been proven is total memory loss after drinking too much Commodore Red. Honestly, I think he's just lying to us.
But Detective Vicmere, he has blanked out before. Yes, a couple of times. After some of the more serious benders. One was after the two drunks case. The other when we looked in...
So you don't remember not remembering. Beautiful. The two cases in your ledger. The unsolvable case and the new world. Those cases were hard on you.
Interesting. So at first he dipped his toes into it, prepared. That's where he would have gotten the idea.
What do you mean?
Well, here's my theory. What if this is an absolutely normal reaction to the world we're living in? What if this is not a significant anomaly at all? Something to be explained. Look at the ruins, the neon. Listen to the radio, the multitudes, the people. Live here for 40 years. As a police detective, he's like a magnetic reader on the world team, to borrow a known hardwired to the free market. He just needed for its end.
Okay, Trant, thank you. That's absolutely meaningless. I'm glad we brought you. Will he or will he not be able to work in the major crimes unit?
He's not a cretin, and he is able to do work. If not in his previous leadership role, then as a line detective.
No one even mentioned that. I misphrased my question. It should have been, is he able to put his clothes on and use the potty? Now, nothing. Now we're just going to stand here. No, now we discuss that. What the fuck did you do to our motor carriage? Why is...
Lie. Just bide your time. Ask something, then lie.
Yes, in the ocean, under the sea, our work vehicle with fish and clams and other sea shit. Oh, well, if it wasn't you, then it's okay. You only let someone steal our 45,000 real police vehicle? Drive it. For the record, you pressured us into getting it. It'll be cool, Jean. We'll have wheels. Rapid response. I was fine being an equestrian cop. I hope don't answer that. Your badge, Harry. Show me your badge.
In a rush to demonstrate your badge, your eager fingers can't sustain a grip on the smooth plastic, and the badge slips out of your hand. Not today, badge.
And your gun?
As if having your badge and gun are next. What is it with all these material objects?
You're drunk, aren't you? You lost your gun and you're drunk. You're a drunk, gunless bum. I can smell it. We're not talking about the fucking gun anymore. We're talking about the...
This is so unfair. He knows you have the gun, and still he's punishing you.
I don't buy it. Why do you smell like a...
He's wounded. It's been a long week, and he's handled an actual corpse.
What you've discovered? You let the suspect escape. A certain Glacier. Because you were too drunk.
We've read the report, Sari. Lieutenant Kitsuragis. We know.
Oh well, if she was nice. I'm not even gonna get into the other suspect, who also is... or the fact that you're Evrard Claire's little peony now, doing I don't know what for him. That's small-time stuff, compared to the 6 people who were gunned down. The streets are literally red with blood, Harry.
He did everything he could. We did everything we could. The company hired unvetted mercenaries. Lieutenant Dubois could be...
Here comes the cavalry.
He did so at considerable risk to his own life. He was shot and survived only because of his armor. We stopped an execution, not a negotiation. The loss of life was minimal compared to what it could have been. Don't make this harder for yourself.
Thank you for the input, Lieutenant Kitsuragi.
He thinks of apologizing.
You spent the week with him on this case. What is your take? On Lieutenant Yofretot.
Well, the drinking, the gun losing, also losing the badge. That's all true.
See?
1 week.
Then there's the apocalypse thing. At first I thought it was a joke, but it's not. He actually thinks the world is about to end. It's worrying, especially considering his political views. Detective Dubois is, as you may know, a Mazovian socio-economist. He wants to liquidate the ruling class.
You should yell something. Yes, let's let...
Other still, he is also a full-blown fascist, an ultra-nationalist, woman-hater, and more than a little racist. How he reconciles these 2 points... And then there's the motor carriage in the sea, and the drugs, of course. Amphetamine, mostly. But despite all this, he is a great detective. One of the... He can talk human beings into telling him everything. And he doesn't stop. In all the time I've spent with him, he has not once stopped pursuing leads, however far-fetched and tangential. Well, except that one time when he stopped to sing karaoke, which, by the way, I have to disagree with you, Mr. Vicmar, was a valiant effort.
Okay, he did some...
Other than that one time, he has tirelessly worked on the case, and he solved it. We have a confession, a murder weapon. He apprehended a revolutionary brigade who stayed hidden for 50 years, ever since the revolution. who's probably committed other murders over those years.
News.
A colossal stick insect, 3 meters tall. It's on the island, camouflage as the reeds. I know this sounds fantastic, but I'm a 4 times decorated lieutenant of the RCM. I do not make up encounters with...
I don't doubt you, Lieutenant. If you say it was the Insulindian phasmid, then it was the Insulindian phasmid. Lieutenant, is it somehow connected to the
Detective? The old man was not aware of the phasmid's presence. Exhibiting a strange, atypical dementia, he fell into...
So it
We could order a search. I could get people from EPIS on the island, entomologists, doctors. There must be signs of it in the reeds. If we found the Insulindian phasmid, well, that would be absolutely...
There, you need to make your case now. The floor is all yours. He prepared it well.
This is a conversation for when we are no longer out in the open, in Martinez, where Evrard and Edgar Clare had...
And eyes, too. Your return from the island might...
Understood, of course.
But a case against Everard.
I would prefer not to partake in anything union-related, for political.
This has to be good stuff for him to backpedal out of it at first mention.
Lilianovich. A revolutionary matronym. The custom started in Grad, where they have patronyms. Krasovich, Lasovich, etc. The revolutionaries saw this as a chauvinist atavism, so they used matronym. This man's mother was Lilian. His Lilian's son, Lilianovich. The custom was overturned after the revolution failed.
So, it is what a soldier...
Thank you, Trout. Thank you for that piece of cultural theory. You said you have a
Of course, excuse me, I just thought it was no...
He wasn't quite sure about the straggler before he heard this detail. It must have convinced him.
Possibly induced. But even without that, these men spent 50 years on the islands in the bay, in solitude. Also, we have a sniper's nest with full view of the room in which the mercenary died, right on the island, and two...
It's a clean...
Oh, it's way more than that.
masterpiece. Get over yourself, Harry.
God damn it. Doesn't it ever leave? It will pass in time.
What was that? It sounded like you set up a nightclub in the church. Get a grip. No one cares about your...
4 kids were living in a tent on the ice. They were going to drown when it melted. It's not optimal, but the building was abandoned.
It's not that okay. Get off this subject.
Female?
You had to see it. It had the subdued colors of a female. And the neck...
Incredible. Were there eggs in the neck?
Not as far as I could see. There were other things.
It's interesting time. Forget about the rest.
As in cloning itself? What makes you think so? Interesting. Then it is especially vulnerable to disease. A single strain of bacteria could wipe out the entire species. We're probably talking conservation efforts here. Actually, you know, this would indicate it was a male. This is far from anything in my field, but I think such nests.
Bowers are built by males of the species who can't afford colorful mating displays physically. This one
Must be robust if it can move a helmet with its limbs.
Yes, but also reed-colored, beige and brown, a little green on the outside. After unfolding from a single stalk, it still retains...
Incredible. It's a toughie that you don't have a photo. This would look very, very flashy in the papers. None of it says vigilante murderers to me at all.
I tried to, but
ouch.
We can still work. Cop discovers new species in there. I know a good guy in La Majesté, but only after the École Supérieure people find it. This cannot...
It needs to be white coats and glassware for this fly. We need professional...
You're doing good here. Perhaps only for a moment. Quit while you're ahead? Or no?
Yes, yes. Fallen through a gap in the boardwalk.
The body was transported to Precinct 41, our morgue. I had to...
You're not the only cop in the world, Harry.
Still, good work with the missing person.
It's still a point for you. No denying it.
I don't know what a doomed commercial area is. No, it didn't. It didn't turn out to be anthroponetical again. Enough with the Isolary Pale.
Paradox B is a fringe science magazine. It doesn't look like the lieutenant wishes you to cut it out, is indeed what he is thinking.
Who's Kuno?
you don't want to know.
You're right, Lieutenant, I don't. You snorted the drugs. I know you did. It's all right. I mean, at this point, anything is but the drink. I don't want to, but you discovered a new species, so I have to.
Anything that ends the trial is okay with me.
Agreed. The public relations potential of this is too valuable to let go.
Okay. We have vehicles in the square, and the perpetrator needs to be taken into custody.
Now you will finally get to know who you are. The man looks westward, jingling his car keys in his pocket.
No. You're too unstable to work for my boss. You're suicidal, Harry. No, my boss would...
I assure you, I wouldn't consult for it.
He would immediately backpedal. I told you it's not that bad.
Us? We're the bloody murder station. Haven't you heard? We're the bad guys. No one likes us.
That's not true. Jamrock is too big for one precinct. You're just understaffed, and everyone
Thank you, Lieutenant. You're being kind. It is an understaffed station, and the district is too big.
Get back to it. We left Torson and McLean to run the Sea Wing. It's not good. Mac the Torso Torson and Chester McLean. They're not fit to run a wing. Believe me.
They are damn iconic, though. Torson and McLean.
Yeah, not like us. Two clinically depressed old men. Where's the contrast here? We're garbage. God. There are 4 wings, Harry. A, B, C, and D. We're in C. It's made of losers and clock punchers. You and I reconceptualize...
There's also a lot of outside help involved, not only me. Other losers too.
He's anything but a loser. Although he would like to be seen as one. It's cooler that way.
Ptolemy Price? He's the son of the old Price.
He's one of the most highly regarded men in the...
Somewhere under the curved roof of a former silk, they speak of change, the city, the tension on the streets. They speak of the events of April and the blood on the streets in May.
So he remembers that. Yes, there may have been a red...
Shooting up churches never is. I was out of town, to be clear.
Our enemies were hiding in a church, to the best of our information. That's it. I'm not talking about this anymore. Your security clearance...
He means it. The RCM and its enemies will not... Your clearance will not go up while you're within earshot of the Union headquarters.
Okay, it's not the bloody murder station. It's an old converted silk mill with green desk lamps and coffee corner. A lot of good people work.
Jamrock is the largest ghetto in Rivershaw. Faubourg, technically, but it's divided.
The press will blow over. Jamrock is lucky to have you, and it's often considered to be the greatest of the districts.
Thank you again, Lieutenant. Who are you? You're a gym teacher, Well, obviously you're not a gym teacher anymore, but...
Before you were a cop, you were a gym teacher in Coron. It's getting really cold outside. Should we maybe... You haven't told us about that. You just told us about being a gym teacher.
Harry, it explains everything. The running around, the jumping, the bicep girth. The fact that you don't seem to know what homosexuality is, and your moves on the church floor, which...
The incredible stamina output.
Of course.
He's been on about Mike again? I hate that guy. Oh, you don't say. Does he also vote an imp...
It is getting cold out.
In your 20s or late 20s, you've really let yourself go since then. Yes, you taught gym in Coron. I believe that's the term. Taught gym at a high school.
The smell of sweat and glue. Coron is just east of Jamrock.
High school. Harry, your goings-on with Kuno, Andre,
His smirk suggests barely contained laughter.
The regular. You found some chick. She inspired you to fight the big fight.
You, every morning, walking from Voyager Road to teach gym.
I knew it. I knew no normal human being can run like that. He's an honest-to-God gym...
It's not a mystery. Some chick fucked you over. Also, you were drunk. Dubois. It was Dora Ingerlund, I think. You've said her name. But you weren't married. You were engaged. Something like that. Half Vasa.
Vasa is where beautifully and impossibly blonde people...
No one is married anymore. This is Revachol. God, I don't know. 6 years ago? She was way...
6 years and you haven't gotten over it. What the hell is wrong with you?
No, it was 6. Like, ancient. It's an old man thing. 2 old years equals 1 normal year. That and Dora Ingerlund really incredibly bangable. She was extremely fuckable, Harry. Gorgeous. A gorgeous bourgeois.
Snow, Welkin. Heartbreak.
I've only seen a picture. But it's obvious you formed a real spiritual connection with how pretty she was.
Look, the sun is going down.
I think she taught in the Académie des Arts, east of the river. Way east. Hard to say which came first. My point is, you need to see a psychiatrist about this shit. Not a psychologist. Several degrees harder. Is there something harder than a psychiatrist?
In other words, he's heard enough about this.
Who is Lena?
She lives at 1113 Tabernacle Road.
Tabernacle? It's on the way over. Near where you live on Perdition.
Fine. If we're gonna drop you off at...
She and her husband were conducting the search for... They should know as soon as possible, even if we didn't get it.
She is going to be over. Watch out, or she'll faint.
Well, first I will go back to my station and write the most detailed report anyone has ever seen. It will have... Detective, we just stopped a small-scale war. Something is happening to Revachol. I don't know what yet, but it's going to be a hard spring for the RCM.
Le Retour.
Talk to Captain Price? I'd rather not ruffle the feathers of 2 captains with my doom-mongering. Work with Price?
Would fit in. And crazy enough. Can take the This truly came as a surprise to him.
Flattered? You're Lieutenant Kitsuragi.
I would have to tie things up in GRIH first. But, I mean, whatever is coming, Jamrock will be more central.
And we also have a huge caseload, Lieutenant. Piles that we need to get back to.
I do like the sound of that.
He's really considering it.
Good.
Fuck it. Let's go. Tron brought his motor carriage.
Under the evening sky, the great district turns on its lights. A chessboard of... You close your eyes and hear the dogs bark. A lone woman sits by. Torsen? Yes. Really? Nick Gottlieb looks up from the list. I hear he's unstable. You say that like it's a bad thing. Captain Potomny Price gestures with a ballpoint.
Wonderful. Then can we please just go back to Jamrock?
Everyone says you started crying in the middle of a firefight and then bled like a pig. I guess that was cool. People, they say you'd kind of died for a moment, that you let your shit out already, but then came back. Just don't think because you got half your dick shot off and you're an invalid now, Kuno's gonna treat you Kuno doesn't reward weakness. It's business as usual with Kuno. Kuno's cold like that. The fuck about it? You're Get lost! Yeah? Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't give a shit. The fuck do you want? Good call. Watch out, pig. It's a dangerous world out there. Who knows? Fuck does...
I'll die before I squeal, pig.
Fuck does Kuno care?
The ham sandwich. A treat of this magnitude should not be enjoyed alone.
I'll pass.
When you hold something up long enough, some people are compelled.
Thank you, but no. No.
The lieutenant's eyes express an absolute. The lieutenant stands next to you. This man does not crack under pressure. Stars would die before he'd succumb to any kind of manipulation. With this realization comes a sudden flash of pride.
Some people would feel compelled to take it. Yes, No. I'll pass.
When you hold something...
Thank you. No. No.
The lieutenant's eyes... The lieutenant... This man does not...
Stop that.
One look at the lieutenant immediately tells you a bad idea. Men like the lieutenant are not won over by such. The lieutenant slaps the sandwich out of your hand faster than you could ever hope to react in your sorry state. It lands in the dirt and falls apart.
Officer, we have serious matters to attend to. I suggest